Hi, hello to all my viewers. I am Ajmera Kavita from TTWREIS Girls Kuravi, studying 2nd MPC. I am from Khambam district. Suppose there is an accident. Passers took him to the hospital. Doctor takes his hands and observes pulse rate and heartbeat. What kind of sound heartbeat produces? Yes, heartbeat produces love dub, love dub, love dub, nothing but a beat, that is love dub. Now we observe that love dub means a beat. Now my topic is beats. Now we are going to discuss about beats. Beats means the sound which we listen again and again is called beats. It is generally, but according to our physics, beats means when two sound waves traveling in the air, it produces certain types of sound. At that time, we will listen a fluctuant sound or a clear sound. That type of sound is called beating. Yes, when two sound waves traveling in the air, they are traveling in the same medium and their intensity may be low or high. Intensity low means destructive interference. Intensity high means that's constructive interference. When sound waves traveling in the air, it interference with each other and produces alternately constructive interference and destructive interference. We will see that waves, what they are traveling in the air. This is the sound wave 1. Suppose the sound coming from speaker 1, the sound wave is traveling in the air. It has so many directions. It travels in the air. And another sound wave 2 means it produces from speaker 2. The waves travel in the air. Like this, sound wave 1 and sound wave 2 traveling in the air, they both interference with each other. At that time, interference of waves, it produces that alternately constructive interference and destructive interference. Like this, traveling in the air, so many waves will interact with that waves. But when we listen, constructive means the sound which we cannot listen. That means the sound which we listen means high frequency. Destructive interference is very useful to listen. I will say the example for constructive interference. If we are traveling in the way, at that time bus was horning. At that time we automatically do that. Oh, it's a high to listen. If we listen that sound like music is playing, we melodiously will listen that music. Means that type of sound is called destructive interference, which the sound make us to listen or make us to stop our ear. That type of sound will produce us when two sound waves interface in the air. And we know so many mathematical formula. According to that, we are going to find out in now beat mathematical formula. When beat mathematical formula we are going to find out. For which we are find outing? Yes, for sound waves. First, sound wave 1. Sound wave 1 is traveling in the air. Sound wave 1 we denote as y. The sound wave traveling in the air along the displacement and the time. This is the y1. And like that only y2 means sound wave 2. It travels along the displacement and the time. Like this, two sound waves travels. We take that angle. First, y is equals to a cos omega 1 t, and next y2 a cos omega 2 t. Here cos we take as first y1 is equals to a cos omega 1 t, no? So cos we take as cos omega 1 has angle and t has along that time, and a is that amplitude, and along like that only we take y2. y2 is equals to a cos omega 2 t. A means amplitude, cos omega 2 means angle, and t is the time taken that wave traveling in the air. Like this, sound wave 1 and sound wave 2 interact with each other. That means y is equals to y1 plus y2. We are going to find out now beat mathematical formula. We can denote that y and s we take as displacement. S also we can take and y also we can take for displacement. So here we took that s is equals to s1 plus s2. Now s is equals to sound wave 1. We took that a cos omega 1t plus a cos omega 2t as wave 2. When these sound wave 2 interact with each other in the air, a cos omega 1t plus cos omega 2t. Let we take that a has common. Cos omega 1t plus cos omega 2t taken as bracket. So, according to our maths, cos omega 1t plus cos omega 2t has formula for mathematical. We took that cos omega 1t plus cos omega 2t is equals to 2a cos omega 1t plus cos omega 2t. Here 2 into cos omega 1 plus omega 2t by 2 into cos omega 1 minus cos omega 2t by 2. We taken that according to mathematical formula. Now we are going to add that in that formula cos omega 1t plus cos omega 2t. Here is equals to 2a into cos omega a plus omega b by 2. We took t as common and into cos omega 1t minus omega 2t by 2. Like that we are now, if there is a big formula, we get the more time, we took the more time to calculate. So, like that we assume that take small formula. In that omega a, omega 1 t plus omega 2 t by 2, we took that omega a t and omega 1 t minus omega 2 t by 2, we assume that it has omega b t. We add in that formula 2a cos omega 1 t plus omega t 2 by 2. In that place we take omega a t and cos omega b plus t in that place we assume. Like that finally we find out that beat mathematical formula 2a cos omega a t into cos omega b t. And now we are going to find out that frequency, beat frequency. What is meant by frequency? Frequency means the number of oscillation per second is called frequency. Yes, number of oscillation per second is called frequency. Then what is beat frequency? Beat means its type of sound. Frequency means I said that number of oscillation per second. Means beat and frequency, when these two added, we can take that beat frequency. Beat frequency means, beat frequency is nothing but, beat frequency is always equals to the differences of sound wave 1 and sound wave 2. As we took that sound wave 1 a cos omega 1t plus omega 2t by 2, we took that. According to that, we will say that beat frequency. Beat frequency means we can denote that beat frequency has mu. Are you seeing that? Mu means that is the symbol of mu, frequency. Frequency is equals to sound wave 1, means frequency sound wave 1 we denote as A. Frequency A minus means difference, frequency B means frequency sound wave 2. Finally, beat frequency means we denote mu, and mu is equals to mu A differences of mu B. Mu A means sound wave 1 and mu B means sound wave 2. Differences of these two sound waves, we get beat frequency. Now, we are in our daily lives. What is in our daily life? Beat examples. Beat examples of daily life. Daily life beat examples are musical instruments. Beats are useful in musical instruments and in detection of coal mines. Is right. In our musical instruments means, for example, guitar and tabla. So many instruments are there in our daily life uses. When guitar is played, when like that guitar is playing with the strings, the person was playing that guitar, at that time it produces stationary waves. Stationary waves it produces. And now I am going to show you that guitar. This is the guitar. When this was playing, when this was playing, we vibrate the strings. These are the strings. These strings when we are playing, it produces some sounds. That sounds is equals to the stationary waves. Yes, stationary waves means the combination of two sound waves moving in opposite direction. At that time we said that the waves are moving in same direction, but in stationary waves we take as two waves traveling in the opposite direction. When two sound waves traveling in the opposite direction, they was observed, we can observe that same amplitude and the same frequency. Same amplitude and frequency, it produces the stationary waves, and it also produces the node and antinode. Node means the sound, the amplitude. Sound means the amplitude which becomes the maximum. Maximum is called node, and antinode means the amplitude which becomes the low, means zero. The amplitude becomes the zero is called antinode. Antinode is, now we clear with node and antinode. Then we are saying that amplitude becoming zero, amplitude becoming the maximum. What is amplitude right now? Yes, we are going to say that what is amplitude. Amplitude means the maximum displacement or a distance. Displacement or a distance moving on a point, on one point or a point, and moving a point by in the vibrating objects. Vibrating objects in that produces that stationary waves. Like that, the amplitude is also, we came to know what is amplitude. Now, amplitude means we get the full clearance about that amplitude. If we are in our daily life, we just, how we get in our mind means we just realize that, and we should do experiment for that, and we have to write. So like that I done for you. I have written that beat frequency for you. This is the beats, and beats means I said that two sound waves. I said that two sound waves of different frequencies. Frequency means number of oscillation per second. Beat frequency approaches. Approaches means which was coming to towards us. Towards to ear means this is our ear. It comes towards to our ear when we are listening, or when the wave was coming towards us in air, is called beating. That is sound is called beating. It is clear? Once more I will repeat for you. When two sound waves of different frequencies approaches to our ear, that time you will listen clear sound is called beating. We clear with that beating. It produces alternately constructive interferences and destructive interference. And next we discussed that beat mathematical formula. Here beat mathematical formula we also written in the chart work to say in front of you. Here beat mathematical formula, and before going that, one more main point we discuss in that beating. When two sound waves of different frequencies with a different frequencies, you are not the same, that is the different frequencies. Yes, different frequencies in the same direction. Here the waves are traveling in the same directions. They superimposable to each other. Superimposable to each other means they are traveling in the same medium and interface with each other. The waves interface in the air and produces with each other constructive interference and destructive interference. Each other interference each other, then their intensities may be low or high. I already said that low means which we listen with a destructive interference. Destructive means the sound which has low frequency is called destructive interference, and high means constructive interference. Constructive interference means the sound which we listen with a high frequency is called constructive interference. Now we are going to again discuss about beat mathematical formula. Beat mathematical formula means we denote it has displacement along it has S and Y. S is equals to A cos omega 1 t and S2 is equals to A cos omega 2 t. Like that, we will lastly find out that beat mathematical formula has 2A cos omega A b t plus cos omega into cos omega b t. Like that, beat mathematical formula also we have discussed. And now we will see again our waves. Wow, how they traveling in the air. Yes, this is the sound wave 1 and this is sound wave 2. When this sound wave traveling in the air, we listen that some type of sounds like different objects. If I say example for that, one is the stone and another is the steel plate. If these two are falls on the floor, it produces different types of sound. When sound come from one stone and another is steel plate. When different waves, different sounds will come from that two different objects, at that time we will listen that a clear sound or frequent sound. That type of sound is called beating. And now in our daily life, I said that in our daily life we play so many musical instruments. Musical instruments, not only guitar, we play the tabla and violin and so many instruments etc. we will play in our daily life, for example of beats. Yes, when these are playing, we can observe that some type of melodious music listening from that. When some type of sound comes to our ear, we will listen so much with a peaceful mind. With peaceful mind we will listen that the type of sound which was producing from the different musical instruments. And when different musical instruments was playing, we will listen with our ear. It was traveling in the air. What is the traveling? The sound waves which was producing from different musical instruments. Different musical instruments comings and the persons who are playing, they also listen, but they listen at that time, they will listen with a high frequency and another means low frequency. Low frequency, the person who listening means the person who was far away from who was playing from the object source. The person who was away from the source or means more distance from the source which was playing the musical instruments, for that person we will listen low sound, that means destructive interference. The person who was playing the guitar, behind the source only the observer is there means at that time you will listen the constructive interference. And this is our topic in our daily life uses and beat. This is my full topic of beats. I have given you clear about all the beats, and thank you for my mentor teacher. Thank you TSET, to my beloved principal sir and secretary sir for giving this wonderful opportunity, and my subject associate sir Madhusudan sir, Madhavarao sir and Mohan sir, and who was helping me to present in front of this projector PPT means there was the Azardhan sir and the Vishnu Kumar sir. Thank you a lot for thank you. Today's our class is completed. We will meet on another class. Till now, bye.